Aye, right. Ben, where's the new episode of Game Overtime?
Okay, so I so we recorded and we recorded about I can't remember what I was about,
Weeks ago,
but
we all went on
yeah.
vacation during the time. You promised me the the podcast would be all good to go at some point, early on in September. But I can't see it though, Ben. Usually I'm
Yeah,
not
I
too fussed,
think
but
well, the dog ate my audio.
right. How do you manage that?
Um okay, no, I lost it. I don't know where it's gone.
Ben, are you telling me that you've lost Are you telling me that you've lost an episode of Game Overtime?
Yeah, I've lost an episode of Game Over Time.
Okay. Well, the problem is that I can't even remember what we even talked about in that episode of
No.
Game Overtime. So we can't even recreate it from scratch. So
No.
fuck it. Okay, what we
I
go?
think the best thing we could do
Have you still got the
is
audio of the Game of the Year one? Can we use that?
Oh,
Actually, no. Actually, I think no.
no.
That's the nuclear option. We don't need. Okay, that's
No,
that,
I don't think anyone wants us to discuss the game of the year for 3 hours.
No, nobody wants to hear. Especially, they don't want to hear what the results of that were. We're not even gonna.
No.
Let's put that in the back of our minds. That's not even Plan B. That's like Plan F if we even need to get to it. But what's our Plan
Let's
B
just
for
say
now?
Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball was unfortunately not the winner, and I'm still upset about that.
I'm also very upset about that as well. But that's okay. We'll put the past behind us
Okay.
for now. However, Plan B for now. We can't recreate the audio from scratch because we can't remember what we even talked about. We can't use a text to speech to recreate the episode as well because again we can't even remember what we talked about. I'm looking at the idea list and I don't know how much. The problem is that with this new series of Game Overtime, we're being too high. What's the word that I'm looking for? Kind of
Eyebrow.
not highbrow, no, high concept. These
High
ideas we
concept,
can't really
yeah.
throw them together too quickly because they require getting in voice actors, special effects, all that.
We need an episode out now,
We need to
preferably yesterday. Actually,
oh my god, right. We need to come up with an idea for Game Over. Right, Ben, stay on, mate. We're gonna come up with an episode of Game Overtime.
we're gonna discuss it then. Just talk about it and figure it out.
Yeah, why not? Well, if I feel like almost that at some point in this discussion, you could probably even cut in the Game Overtime theme like it is an episode of Game Overtime.
Yeah. Well, I don't like coffee, so I'm just gonna go get a bowl of
Oh
water.
yeah, no, I don't drink. I don't even know why we called it the coffee break section. I mean, it kind of makes sense in regards to that's what you do in an office environment. But we don't even live in the same room, Ben. We're doing this over
No,
microphones.
I'm in my uni flat.
Yeah, we're hundreds of miles apart from one another. So no, I'm just going to drink water and talk about whatever's on my mind. But for at least 20 minutes or so, we need to come up with some ideas for Game Overtime. So
Okay.
here we go. Ben, give me an idea.
So a game for.
Hmm.
Okay, we've done birds.
Okay, we've done birds, right?
We've done grandpas.
Okay, birds and grandfathers, two sides of the spectrum, right?
Yeah. What's the next step?
What, from birds and
about it.
grandfathers?
Yeah. What's the obvious next step?
Crocodiles, I'm thinking. Don't know why. Don't know why
Possibly
I don't know
crocodiles.
why my brain went to crocodiles. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of birds, and birds are they used to be dinosaurs, and they kind of have a relationship with reptiles, which obviously the biggest reptile are crocodiles. Also, grandparents and stuff, they look kind of. Well, they don't look like crocodiles, because I feel like that's a bit harsh. I'm not going to say that, Mary Berry from, the Great British Bake Off, she doesn't look like a crocodile. Can't believe that I'm talking about Mary Berry again.
I know, it happens every time.
This literally this has been happening on every episode of Game Overtime since we've gone back, and I need to find another person to. Dame Maggie Smith from Downton Abbey. She doesn't look like a crocodile.
Okay.
If I said such a thing to her, she would give me 5 across the face for saying such a thing. However, that's one thing for crocodiles. So, what do we know about them? They're big African I was going to say insects, even though I know that they're reptiles.
They're definitely not that.
Yeah, 100% they are not
are
insects.
They are reptiles. They're big green usually, I guess.
Yeah, green, olive color, brown. Usually they live in swamps, and what they do is like they like sticking their mouths out of like swamps and stuff, and just like kind of moving the jaws up and down. Like sometimes they like birds in there to kind of like pick food out of their teeth and stuff. Yeah, we can
Like
come up with game
toothpicks.
ideas from that. That's easy. I mean, you can just do like one where you have to pretend like your keyboard is every tooth in a crocodile's mouth, and you press keys on the keyboard to like pick food out of it and stuff. Like if you're a bird, yeah, easy. There we go. That's one idea.
A game literally for a crocodile. You know, you need like a teeth-shaped controller.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a computer, or like a controller that looks like a big wooden log, or that is just a big wooden log, but it's full of like sensors and stuff that picks it up.
Motion controls.
Yeah.
Gyro.
Yeah, a big old gyro log would be good.
Do you think you could give a crocodile one of those new ring cons?
Yes. And you could put it like in its jaws, and it just like keeps trying to clamp down on it, but it's like struggling to do so.
You have to like increase it so much.
Yeah, he needs to make it out of like a way more tensile material, just so it doesn't break in its mouth. But where would you put the other Joy-Con that you usually put on your thigh? Where would you put that? On a crocodile. Would you put it on its big tail?
Tail?
Yeah,
tail. It's gotta be.
Just put it on the big tail. Okay.
Like, you'd have to make the game around being a crocodile and not Ring Fit Adventure. I don't think that would work.
Right. Okay, scenario time though, Ben. Like, say we're in the office though, and we get an email through. Okay, who's asking for a crocodile game?
Crocodile Dundee.
I don't know. Crocodile Dundee doesn't strike me as... Because the problem with that is that, well, if he's going to be a character in this game over time stuff, like, we probably have to check the licensing of it and stuff. Like, we may not be able to just say, oh, look who's come into the office. Well, it's famous 80s action star Crocodile Dundee, whose name I can't even remember. I think that
he's Australian, right?
Yeah, I think the actor's called Paul Hogan. But I don't know what he's up to. I imagine
I can't do a good Australian,
No,
unfortunately.
I can do an okay Australian, but I don't know if I could like do it for an entire well, not even like an entire episode, but like for a 5-minute intro where like he comes in and says, good day, mate. I would like to get a game for a crocodile, please. We could probably get somebody in to do that though. Do we know any Australians?
Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, there we go. All right. We'll get the actual... We could probably do it on Cameo. Is he on Cameo? Like David Hayter?
Let me do a quick Google.
Okay, that's fine. In the meantime, I will also try and come up with an idea for a new Game Overtime episode. Again...
He's not, no.
Oh, he's not. Okay, that's rubbish. A game that you play by clicking your fingers.
Okay, so like it's going to be a rhythm.
Well,
probably.
We're
probably going to spend the whole thing talking about rhythm games.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I like a rhythm game, anyways. I feel like, I haven't even started the timer for this episode of Game Overtime, Ben. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna subtract some minutes from that and now start the timer. Okay, great. Also, this isn't actually an episode of Game Overtime. This is us talking about an episode of Game Overtime.
Yeah,
just
but
to
we
clarify.
time those because we haven't even synced up our talking.
Oh yeah, damn it. Okay, right. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Nice. Okay. Cool. What were we even talking about? Okay, what about a game where you have to sync audio by clicking your fingers or clapping your hands? And the entire game was that.
Well, clapping I like more because that's more accessible. I can't click my fingers.
Right, Ben, have you ever played Rock Band?
No.
Okay, do you know what Rock Band is, though?
Yes.
Okay. So in the game Rock Band, you play as a rock band, and like you have a guy who's the bassist and a guy who's a rhythm guitarist and stuff like that. But what I'm thinking is that you kind of expand Rock Band to cover way more parts of like the music industry stuff. So it's not just the musicians and the singer and stuff like that, but it's also the audio engineers. So what we could build is like a really like complicated like mixer controller, which has a bunch of sliders on it and stuff like that. And so while people are trying to do the Rock Band stuff, they're also trying to play around with the knobs to kind of like make sure that the low end of the bass is coming through, and there's not too much distortion on the guitars and stuff like that. But it's got a little microphone in it, and before the band can start, you count them in and then do the clap to sync. And that's the most
okay.
important, because if you fuck that up, then the game crashes and goes, oh, boys, you're going to have to start again. Like, all the way from the beginning.
Oh no,
That's
a
what
bit
I'm
shit,
thinking
isn't
for
it?
that.
Okay, and we could have we could get a semi-famous musician. What can we afford on our current budget? Maybe is Post Malone expensive?
Is Post Malone expensive? I don't think so. I mean, I haven't asked him if he is I mean, I could send him a Twitter message if you want. Or is he on Insta?
Well, let me Google again.
Okay, while you Googling.
I'll send him a message. I'll send him an email if I can get him.
Okay. So, post.malone@aol.com. I just realised, you know what controller had a clapping microphone in it? The Donkey Kong.
Oh, the Donkey Kongers, yeah.
Yeah, the Donkey Konga bongos. And they didn't have those.
Yeah.
The drum kit for a Rock Band could have had that. That would have been good. All right, what about if they remade Donkey Konga, but instead of clapping, you're clicking your fingers? What if instead of him doing like rock tracks, he's instead doing like jazz tracks?
Oh, that'd be good.
What if it's a Donkey Kong? You know, like when they told the Tokyo team at Nintendo, right, we got these bongos, could you make a single player game with it? And they did.
Mm-hmm.
They made a platform game. What if they said, could you make like a point and click adventure game, but like it's set in like a jazz club? Where rather than clapping for like musicians and stuff, you just click your fingers to kind of show appreciation to them.
Okay.
And that's like when it, like rather than saying, you know, forward and backwards, to go forwards or to kind of accept stuff, you click your fingers. But then to go back, then
that is the problem. I won't be able to go forward at all because like I said, I can't.
You can't click your fingers. Ben,
is it going to register?
I believe you can click your fingers.
Can you hear this?
Yes, it's going through absolutely fine. See, like
it's not loud enough. See, that's much more distinctive.
I know, it's nice. I hope this sounds really good on the podcast when it goes out. It's just the sound of me. I hope it doesn't.
It's a good job we're not recording this. So.
Yeah, that is very true. Even though we did do a sync test and I did have to set up a timer, we are not recording this.
We do that every Discord call now.
Yes, we always sync our Discord calls just in case. I just think it comes off nicer, you know? Sounds more harmonious. So.
Yeah, no, I think it could work. I don't know if there's too much. Like, I guess we could just go through the motions of, okay, so it's a Donkey Kong Bongos game, but you do an RPG.
Yeah.
It's a Donkey Kong game, but you do. I think it'd be funny if we included Donkey Kong in every game. Like if that was our running joke of the episode.
I think that'd be good. What if and you know what would be good is that if we introduce that joke too early as well, and people will be like, wait, what? And then like the joke eventually reveals itself. So like we could say that, oh, we got an email. Oh, who's it from? Why, it's from famous video game star Donkey Kong. And it's like, oh wow, I didn't even know he existed or could send an email.
Or we have him in the room, and I could like insert loads of Donkey Kong voice clips.
you just keep spamming the one from Mario Kart 64 where it just doesn't sound like a gorilla or any animal that exists. Have you?
Oh yeah, I've got that one on my soundboard. Let me just play it for you real quick. Okay, yeah, like that.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Let me play it again.
Has your soundboard also got the Wilhelm scream on it?
Yep.
Okay, let's give it a quick listen. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Tip-top stuff. Okay, so Donkey Kong sends us an email, and then at the end of the episode, it could be like somebody from Nintendo turns up and is like, oh, he's escaped again, that rascal. He keeps going to different game developers to make his game ideas, but we keep telling him, no, they're all owned by Nintendo, bud. You can't do that. And then like we could maybe have it so like maybe he escapes at the end and goes up like the Empire State Building. That being said, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like we'd probably you'd probably have to be like to me, oh James, did you hear about Donkey Kong? Oh, he escaped and went up the Empire State Building. That was nuts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, yeah, no, it was all over the news today.
Yeah.
He stole my best friend.
He stole your best friend.
And yeah, I climbed up the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Oh, he stole Miyamoto.
Oh no, poor Miyamoto. Speaking of poor Miyamoto, I accidentally did the timer wrong. So rather than being so many minutes, it's actually I put those minutes in hours.
Oh no.
So at some point, like tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow, this timer is going to go off.
Okay.
So I guess it's just going to have to record the episode for that long, unfortunately. That's just
Oh wow.
as what's his face says. Who's the
Hasta
rap?
la vista, baby.
Yeah, as the Terminator says, "Hasta la vista, baby." I was thinking of Tupac Shakur when he says that's just the way it is, but I'd be surprised if he knew what I
Say
was.
la vie.
Yeah, Tupac also famously says "C'est la vie" as well when he was in Bewitched.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Ben, give us some ideas.
I'm thinking. Oh, we need to. Are we gonna continue that grandpa bit from the last one?
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a funny bit. We need to bring the Draculas back as well at some point.
I've been wanting to do the voice.
Yeah,
I've been
you've
wanting
been
to do the
itching for
voice.
Draculas.
Yes.
Yes. See, there we go.
It is a very good voice, and I cannot wait to employ it more in more episodes.
Yeah, see, it's a good voice.
I like how it trails off towards the end.
I need to do some voices as well at some point. We haven't had a chance to yet.
Well, what's your favorite voice to do? Is there any way you can get a Matthew Matosis in again?
What if we had an episode where Matthew Matosis comes into the office and asks us to make a game that he can do a review about?
Would it be upsetting for him if we were just imitating him?
Yeah, well, it depends if he listens to the podcasts or not, which maybe he might not. It seems likely that until we get some more numbers that he might not. By the way, if anybody's listening at home, not that you will because technically we're not recording this episode. Hi, James from Game Overtime here, and I just want to let you know that we have a Patreon that you can help support. You can support our podcast with. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and for doing so, you'll get our eternal thanks and any kind of additional content that we may make for the podcast. Ben will put the link in the description, and we'll be sure to thank you when we get to a coffee break section, which I don't know if we're doing in this episode because I don't know if we even have a coffee. I know we are having
obviously a coffee break. You know, when we like take our break and stop talking about Game Overtime for a little bit, maybe I'll just start talking about some stuff and
that sounds
thanking
like a
some
good
people.
Idea. I could deal.
I typically do that just when I'm talking to you in general.
What voices do I enjoy doing though? Matthew Matosis is an alright one. I don't particularly like doing people. I just kind of like doing dumb voices, like when we were doing that campaign and the imp that fell over and hurt his head. Like that was quite a fun voice to do. Which probably explains to people at home. Ben had been running a Monster of the Week campaign for me and two other people. Actually, one of the people has been on Game Overtime many times before. He was also in the party as well.
Many times.
Basically, the adventure ended with our three characters heading underground to find like who is in charge of some imps, and my character decided that let's use one of the imps as kind of like a negotiate. Like let's use this dead imp and pretend he's still alive, and then pretend that the imp has captured us to kind of give us some kind of negotiation rights. But I couldn't think of a good voice for the imp. So I just started doing like a Wreck-It Ralph kind of voice, and it seemed to work. Everybody got a good laugh out of it, so that's the main thing. So maybe we could try. Okay, so let's think. How can we think of an episode where I can figure that voice into it? Either somebody who's given us a job, or
so we have we go into hell.
Okay. This is going to be a later episode. I feel like this is quite high concept, but all right.
Yeah, we go into hell, and Satan's there, and he's like, "Oh, let me pass you over to my mates, to my interns."
Okay.
And they can kind of get you sorted, and they're all imps.
And they're all imps in hell, and they all speak like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of the episode is that we're literally making a game from hell.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's like, look,
we've fallen on hard times.
We've fallen on hard times, and we literally had to make a game from hell. I like the idea of this though. Like, you could have it like Satan being like, "Oh, here's the problem, right?" People keep saying, "Oh, this game's so bad, it's from hell," and like, I've got all these game developers coming up to me and being like, "Yo, stop taking credit for our work, yeah? Otherwise, we'll take you to court for fraud." So literally, Satan does need to make a game from hell in order for that to be his kind of like financial, basically cover his ass legally. Yeah. Oh,
That's
I
good.
quite like this idea.
I think I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah,
I
please.
wanna.
I feel like,
That's gonna
and
be a
again,
fun
because
one.
we could do like a lot of kind of like, oh gosh, it's warm here, isn't it? Yeah, I know. It's because we're covered in like this place is covered in hellfire, and this is like, oh,
Mhm.
I can't even get a coffee here. It truly feels like being in hell. That's because we are in hell. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then
This
you
is
could.
worse than that one time I went to Our Delfino, and like that'd be a good callback.
What's it called back to?
The joke in that episode where we both went on holiday and I went to the Our Delfino.
Oh yeah,
It'd
where
be a
did I
really
go
good
on
callback
holiday?
for the fans. Yeah, you went on holiday to the Painted World of Ariane of.
Oh yeah, that's
Arianes?
right. I went
Yeah.
to the painted world of Arianes. That's great. This is a really rubbish place to go on a summer holiday. It's
Yeah,
just
that
covered
was
in
a good
snow.
joke. That I liked it.
No, yeah, it was. Yeah, I went on a skiing trip to Arianes, and it sucked because I kept skiing down these hills and just falling into the void off the world because there's no slopes in Arianes.
Good callback. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I feel like the Dark Souls games need to become more absurd. Like, I feel like if they're gonna bring him back, they should do like a comedy Dark Souls game, which kind of like leans into all that stuff.
Like skiing.
Yeah, like you should be able to do shield surfing like you can in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then like if you knock into like a Black Knight, you knock it on his ass. And he just chases after you for the rest of the game like a security guard, like in Tony Hawk.
Alright. Okay. I kind of, take a break from talking about game overtime for a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I'm starting to run out of some game. I need some game juice in me in order to get some more game overtime ideas, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to cut in the sound that we usually use for coffee break when we have this break? Or what?
Oh, yeah, I'll cut that in.
Okay.
Like right about here.
Right, Ben, do you want to go through our links and stuff?
Yes. Okay. So, James, I talk to you about this every time because you always forget. But I'd like to thank our patrons, one of them being you, and the other being Rebecca.
Yes.
Thank you to both of you.
Thanks, guys.
And I'd like to thank Maxo for the music used in the podcast.
Thank you, Maxo.
And his Bandcamp is in the description of every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to say, if you like the podcast, you can check out Patreon, which was said a bit earlier. Even $1 helps. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'd like to mention is this is really easy to do. Just an iTunes account takes like 5 minutes to make. You go on there, you go on the Game Overtime page, and you leave a review.
If you listen to Apple Podcasts anyways, you're going to have one, so it's just easy to do.
Yep. It helps us out. Gets some good SEO.
Yeah. We are on Pocket Cast. We're not on Google Cast, though, because I made this mistake the other day, unfortunately. I told people to go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, both of which we're on, and then I said Google Cast, but
no,
while showing a picture of Pocket Casts. We definitely are on Pocket Cast, but we are not on Google Cast. Not yet. But we
unfortunately
will be at
not,
some
because
point.
we are not
it's
American,
US
so we're
only,
not allowed on. Yeah.
Oh, no. Could we start like a shell? Okay. Oh, wait, no. We're doing the game overtime thing again. I was going to say, could we start a shell company like in the US just so we can get it on Google Casts?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. That'd be easy.
I'd like to thank our our Dutch audience. For some reason, we're ranked quite highly in that country.
Yeah, if you're Dutch and you listening to the podcast, Ben, how do you say thank you in Dutch?
Let me have a look.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. Danke. There we go.
Same as it. Bedanke.
Bedanke. Same like it is kind of in German, which is nice.
Yeah.
So, to all the Dutch listeners, danke. And with that out of the way, well, actually, no, that's not quite true. Ben, you're on Twitter and stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess so. My Twitter is at HeyItMeBen.
Yeah.
I don't know why you ask me this every time we're in a call, but
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't know. I was wondering whether because we're kind of doing a fourth wall breaking episode of Game Over Time, and usually the coffee break section is kind of when we break the fourth wall again. Is this totally this are 16
This
walls?
is the fifth wall.
Famous movie star Deadpool says. I don't know whether you know this about Deadpool, but he knows he's in a movie, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know whether that kind of clears that stuff all up as well, but yes, you're on Twitter. I'm also on Twitter at HotCyder, HOTCYDER. I'm occasionally.
Yeah, go on.
I'm also occasionally putting out videos now, which is quite nice. So
I'm on YouTube at HeyItMeBen as well.
Yeah. When's the new vid, Ben?
I need to get it out quick. It's gonna be about Hollow Knight. I've been working on it for about 2 years.
You're against the clock here.
Yeah. The reason I've now been pressured into making it quicker is because when Mark Brown started his Boss Keys series on the Metroid series, I was like, oh, it's fine. He said he was gonna do Hollow Knight at some point, but I was like, oh, it's gonna take ages. Nope. I'll have mine out by then.
Nope.
And now he's about to do Hollow Knight. I'm like, well, shit, I don't really have anything.
You might be lucky though.
My third draft of my script.
He'll definitely. I feel like he'll do an episode between the last one that he did, which was Metroid Corruption, and Hollow Knight one. There will be one in between. Well, so I feel like you've maybe got a month.
He teased it very much at the end.
I'm sure he did, but did he say that the Hollow Knight episode will be next on his channel?
Well, he said the next one will be a big one, and it was Hollow Knight in the background.
Right. Well, you better speed up production.
I've got to speed up the means of production.
You speed up the meme?
The means of production.
Oh, the means. Oh, like socialism. Like Karl Marx says.
Yeah.
Speaking of Karl Marx, Ben, have you been playing anything this week? Or even last week, because there has been a gap in time.
Yeah.
Technically, we can talk about
or even 2 weeks ago, or like a month,
Yeah, exactly. You can talk
anyway.
We can talk about what's it called, Yu-Gi-Oh again, and I could make the same jokes that I did in the last recording. Because to break the fourth wall again, people, there was actually an episode of Game Over Time that was meant to come out, but we have lost the audio for it, unfortunately.
Yeah. My fault.
I'm not going to blame you though for it.
I am.
Okay. Can I blame you for it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It will hurt my feelings, but yeah.
That was me blaming. You can't see it because you can't see my face, unfortunately.
Right.
But I am doing a lot of blaming facing.
We talked about a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, a surprising amount of Yu-Gi-Oh. It was supposed to be a little bit. I was gonna be like, haha. James was like, oh, what game we've been playing, and it was obvious the answer. So I was like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, he kind of.
And
did
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it was interesting because I just liked enjoying listening to Yu-Gi-Oh because my only kind of connection with Yu-Gi-Oh is seeing the cartoon. I can't call it a cartoon because it's an anime.
It's an anime.
I know that's going to offend people by calling it a cartoon. However, I did see the cartoon when I was a much younger man, where I always just thought it was funny that you had this kid with funny hair who, like, his granddad was like, oh, everybody's into these card games now. Oh, why don't you take this incredibly dangerous pyramid and, like, use it for, for your card games? And every time he used the pyramid, he turned into a... Well, he looked the same, but he kind of turned into an adult man.
Yeah. He didn't really look the same. He looked a lot older.
Yeah, like, it was the weird thing. And I kept making the joke about, like, oh, we could use that to, like, go into an offie and just buy, like, hooch,
And it is funny. It's very funny. And we spent a lot of time talking about it, way more than it was intended. I was doing a bit that was supposed to be, like, 5 seconds long.
We were trying to... I'm trying to remember how we managed to get onto the topic of talking about the X-Men as well. Because I was telling you about there were, like, master molds and stuff like that, and I can't remember why that even came up. We had a good joke we had a good bit about Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares, though.
Ah, yeah.
That made me giggle. I hope the people at home are enjoying us reminiscing about things that they didn't hear.
What was the bit?
It was like, I think it was like they were actual nightmares or something. Yeah, I can't remember what it was just kind of, it was something about nightmares and then talking about like, oh, my nightmare is Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares. But then the thing that I was saying about was how in the American version, they all call him Chef Ramsay and kind of show respect to him. But like in the British one, they call him Gordon, like he's his mate. oh, cheers, Gordon, like stuff like
Thanks,
that.
Gord.
Oh, thanks, Gord. Oh, I'm trying to remember what it was because it was kind of like, did he go in a kitchen and there's just like a summoning circle there and stuff like that, like actual nightmares.
That could have been it. Oh god. Oh, this is unfortunate.
I know. We'll just have to do.
You could dig through your audio and find it, but it'd be only one-sided.
I made the joke that Ben should take my audio and then put it in Adobe Audition and like eliminate all the silences in it. And it's just like a stream of audio, just me being like, yeah, no, I get you.
You know,
yeah.
I could upload that on Patreon. Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah, that'd be a good. Yeah, there you go. That's the reason to subscribe to us on Patreon is that you can get that funny audio of me just saying streams of years.
And I'm also gonna put up the thumbnail for the last one.
Yeah,
Never.
That'd be quite good.
It's the son holding a gun
with a bow in her ear.
Yeah.
Which it was a funny enough episode.
We didn't talk about the idea for much of it.
Oh god, no. We we weren't really so we forgot like quite a good idea for the next episode, but we wanted kind of like a normal episode just sort of in between because there would be quite a lot to sort of do in time. So my idea was, let's make a game for the sun. Where the joke was then at the end of the episode that it wasn't for the sun, the giant, heavenly body solar entity, but for the UK newspaper, The Sun. But we couldn't unfortunately come up with a lot of ideas for The Sun.
Which is why we did end up talking a lot about Gordon Ramsay.
We talked a lot about Gordon Ramsay. We talked about a lot of stuff. I can't even remember what was most of it.
No, but most of it wasn't the sun.
No, funnily enough, most of it was not the sun. You know what we could do? Because other than that, we could have just talked about Control again, which I feel like I could very quickly sum up my thoughts on Control from what I said last time.
Well, go on.
But the thing is that I can't really, because I'm kind of like so far away from the product now that I am starting to forget it, but I did enjoy my time with it. And I think as well, I don't know whether it's going to end up being one of my favourite games of the year, but the thing is that I haven't played a lot of games this year. So I don't know, it might do. But
Resident Evil 2?
Resident Evil 2 is quite high up, but I think I would need to replay it again to kind of get, see if whether at the time I was just kind of, hyped on it and whether that will actually hold up. But I've had a lot of time.
I very much enjoyed RE2.
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was tip-top, but I feel like I would need to kind of replay it just to see if that hype was, just, I kind of want to play the new Zelda game, though. But
Link's Awakening, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a new Zelda game, though. It's an old Zelda game that they've made new. But I do want to play it, just because I've heard a lot of people say nice things about it. So, and I like how it looks. I don't like the performance of it, though, where every time you go outside, it drops to 20 frames a second and then picks back up to 60.
It doesn't, I know it's a visually impressive game, but I don't... Is it that visually impressive?
I think
considering...
It's got really nice art direction, I think, is the thing. I like the fact that it looks like miniatures, which is cool.
Yeah.
And
the fact it's just weird that it kind of chugs a bit.
Yeah, that is the weirdest thing about it, is that and I wonder why. Whether it's just that it's trying to load in all that information at once, or it isn't some stuff isn't properly optimized, but it's weird because you go inside a dungeon, you go inside a house, and it runs absolutely fine. But you go outside, and every time you transition into a new area, it drops to half the frame rate for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and then it eventually picks itself back up again.
And it's not like there's a ton on screen.
No, exactly. It's weird though. Odd. I do think the weirdest thing about it, and I keep thinking about this every time I see it, is that it is a weirdly luxury product for a game that's it feels like a small. Well, I mean, it's based on a Game Boy game, which they only had so much space for them, and so you can only fit so much into it. But it is like if you're gonna do this level of kind of luxury style remake, usually you would do it for the Final Fantasy VII. I think is the best example of that, where they're basically taking the tools and the kind of workflow of Final Fantasy 15, which. I know I keep making this joke a lot, maybe not on the podcast, but I do keep making this joke a lot to different people, where it looks like the most expensive game ever made. And they're basically applying that technology to Final Fantasy VII, which at the time looked like the most expensive game ever made. Meanwhile, Link's Awakening, I don't think anyone has ever said that it's the most expensive game ever made. Yet they are applying that kind of technology to that game, which is weird.
Sure. It's definitely not on the level of FF7.
No, of course it's not.
At the end of the day, it is a pretty much one-to-one remake in a lot of areas.
Yeah, no, technically, like, you know, they had a couple of quality of life improvements for the controls, but basically, like, you could probably play it with exactly the same control scheme and still get exactly the same experience out of it. But basically, everything's been done up to the nines, essentially, 3D. And they've gone with a really interesting art direction for it as well, which, again, usually you don't get it for a game like that. Like you would do kind of like a XBLA remake where maybe you'd used hand draw sprites or stuff like that, you know? Kind of, you go for a slightly cheaper... This feels like a weirdly luxury remake for a otherwise small game, which is what the most interesting thing about it is.
Yeah,
I guess
it's neat.
Maybe RE2 kind of fits for that as well, but maybe not. I don't know.
Well, RE2 was very, like, big. It was a very much grounds up reimagining of RE2.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'd say, I'd classify that as on the same level.
Okay.
Like, that was a essentially a new game entirely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whereas you can, like, so FF7, the two versions are completely distinct games.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd say Link's Awakening, it looks a lot better, and it's much more up to modern standards, but, like, you are playing the same game.
Yeah.
With some quality of life improvements.
Yeah, they haven't changed much.
Looks.
They've added a new puzzle builder mode, which apparently is a little bit half-baked, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although I really like the idea of it. Like, I think people have been asking for, like, a Zelda Maker since Mario Maker's been a thing.
I mean, the problem is you can't, like, share anything.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that you're not really building dungeons because all the rooms are prefabs. You're literally just laying stuff down.
It mostly reminds you of the final dungeon in Skyward Sword.
Oh, is that how that... Oh, yeah, you move slots about, don't you? And,
I love that dungeon. It's very good.
I need to go back to Skyward Sword. I stopped after the third dungeon and just haven't picked it back up again. And it wasn't because I wasn't enjoying it. I just kind of ended up falling off it and moving on to something else. But
well, I think... I love Skyward Sword. That's the topic for another time,
It's your favourite Zelda?
Knight in Majora's Mask is.
Ooh.
But Skyward Sword's number 2.
What if Majora's Mask had Skyward Sword's controls and art scheme, though?
It wouldn't fit it.
It wouldn't fit it?
No.
You're telling me that Skyward Sword controls wouldn't fit in Majora's Mask?
It's less the control, it's more the art scheme.
Oh, right.
Art style. Like, I don't know, Skyward Sword's very colourful. I guess you could make it darker, but...
Yeah, because that's one of the issues as well that people are putting against the Link's Awakening remake, which is like, oh, the original game's weird and kind of offbeat, yeah, this art style makes it look cutesy, but it's kind of like, I don't think, like, the weirdness wasn't at the forefront of the Game Boy, like, that was just kind of something that was laminated through it, but it was still meant to be presented like a old-fashioned Zelda game. I think the weirdest thing about... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I think the weirdest thing about it is that you can tell that this was meant to be a 3DS game, that they were then told, right, we're moving production over to Switch now. So
I don't know. I mean, I don't think this game's been developed that long.
I feel like it was planned for... I feel like this was planned to come out after Link Between Worlds, which I originally...
Considering DX was ported to the 3DS, I feel like they probably didn't intend for this remake.
Okay.
Like maybe they thought about it and, you know...
Yeah, it makes you wonder why they did it then. Because my thought was that it was going to be the follow-on from, you know, Link Between Worlds, which probably was intended to be like a from-the-ground-up Link to the Past remake that then somebody decided, actually, no, I want this to be its own thing.
Well, I think I saw something about the developers preferring Link's Awakening to Link to the Past.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it was probably a thing of, okay, we like this game a lot and we want people to experience it.
They had a producer who was like spearheading that stuff. Yeah. It was something that somebody really wanted and managed to push through and get it done.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see, like, I can see what its unique selling point is, which is that kind of art style, which I kind of like that sort of trend of Nintendo stuff now where they're really kind of starting to explore, you know, realistic looking shaders and textures and stuff, but they're not using it to do... it's Mario in Unreal Engine
Yeah.
4. Look, we've put him in a field with like realistic shaders and shit. No, it is like, how can we recreate like textiles and like paper so you've had stuff like, like Yoshi's Woolly World and Kirby's Epic Yarn and stuff like that, and then they did Paper Mario on the Wii U where they actually try to make everything look like it was made out of paper, and then this kind of feels like an extension of that where it's like little wooden painted Mario, like kind of old fashioned diorama stuff.
Well, the thing that sold me on the game was Cal Bossman from Easy Allies. Ironically, not even talking about the game.
Right.
He was talking about the original Link to the Past, Link's Awakening.
Okay.
And the way he described it was that, so I guess spoilers for Link to the Past, Link's Awakening even. Link's Awakening is a dream, and
yes,
since the opening is very much you see the opening cutscene in the trailer, and it's stylized in like the cartoon, like anime-ish, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's hand-drawn animation.
That's like the real world, but then he described the world of Link's Awakening, like the world in the dream, as like a toy box.
Yeah.
And small and quaint, and like, okay, this is the dream world. This is an ideal land.
Yeah.
Like a nice little, just quaint little world. I was like, yeah, no, okay, that sells me on the art style. If Link to the Past looked like this, I don't know if I'd be as happy.
No, yeah, I think you're right, because Link to the Past is meant to be in, quote unquote, the real world, so it should look a bit more.
It's big, it's grand. You kind of want something more.
Yeah,
more like a Link Between Worlds, I guess.
That's why I posted that tweet the other night where I said that they should remake Wario Land 3 like that, because the plot of Wario Land 3 is set in a wind-up music box.
Okay.
Because I was thinking, like, yeah, you could do it like little miniatures sort of thing. I mean, people have been sharing pictures of like Earthbound, where people have been recreating the look of that. Like somebody wanted to do like a felt one, and then somebody wanted to do like a little, 3D figurine one. Again, like I think there's a lot of Nintendo stuff that would work really well with. I wanna know what would be the best, like, if they didn't do like a normal art style for the next Metroid game, how would they do it? What would be
my ideal, like, I guess would be Astral Chain looks very good.
Okay.
That I've been playing Astral Chain a lot recently.
Yes.
And that game is very visually impressive for the Switch. Like, I don't know how it's possible.
Do you want to talk about Astral Chain for a little bit? Because we still got a few minutes.
Yeah, sure.
We can extend coffee break a little bit. We can talk about Astral. That's something brand new. You can talk about Astral Chain. That's okay.
Astral Chain is very, very pretty. Like, it's mostly the colors and like the way they use motion blur on a lot of things. It just, I don't know how to describe it. It just looks very good, and it
has a good art. It's
anime-esque.
got good art direction. Yeah. Like everything's stylized enough. Like. Everything fits. I mean, like, even if they're using particular materials and stuff like that, it still fits in this kind of like, almost kind of like CG anime look that they're going for, I guess. And
I guess if they didn't go with a more traditional art style for Metroid, I'd go with that. Okay. Though, like, I don't know, I like the Metroid art styles, and I think they could just bring it forward.
See,
it's not,
it's
less of an art style thing, and
yeah. What I was thinking, though, is that they should kind of extrapolate on what they started to do a little bit of in Zero Mission, where they kind of almost had like sort of a comic book look to it, like where very kind of dark edges and stuff like that, and kind of like a lot of the background stuff they used kind of a lot of almost like half-tone shading, a lot of Kirby crackle for kind of how a lot of stuff looks. And I think if you did a traditional 2D style Metroid game, you could almost do it a little bit like that, where every kind of room had a sort of like a kind of comic book look. But then I don't think you could go to the extent of having it like, Samus is like jumping over the white borders of comic book stuff and having like giant speech bubbles popping out and stuff. That wouldn't quite work. Like,
that doesn't, it doesn't make sense for
not
Metroid.
For a franchise like that. I guess
Metroid is a very takes itself seriously all the time series. Yeah. Like Zelda and Mario, they have their silliness.
They're whimsical.
Yeah, like Zelda will have serious stuff in it, but for the most part, like, you'll be going through these weird places. Whereas Metroid is like never a series that's faltered from 100% serious.
They've never made a whimsical Metroid game.
Yeah, I can't even think of a single bit of comedy in a Metroid game. Like, there's dark humor in stuff like Prime, where they talk about the space pirates that managed to crush themselves.
How are you forgetting about Metroid Fusion? Where,
what about it?
Where the computer's like, oh, there's some life forms on deck, you need to go investigate them, and then it turns out that it's Mrs. Decora and the Ekans.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of.
But you can't make an
whimsical
entire game out of that, though. That's the problem. So that's
you
what I
need
mean.
those
like,
lighthearted moments.
That's the kind of franchise that does actually benefit from having a hyper-realistic art style because of kind
Obviously,
of.
they can't do fully hyper-realistic because the Switch isn't capable of that sort of thing.
No, of course not.
But like they can do what they did with Prime 3 and just make a very good-looking game for the system it was on.
What about something like Journey? Do you think that would like that kind of aesthetic where it is kind of relatively complex geometry but very simple shading and light? Well, not simple because the lighting's kind of powering like a lot of the shadows and stuff like that. But basically, it is relatively simple shaders and textures.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of imagining, like, in Metroid Prime 1, the first area that you go in, which has, like, the bee's nests and stuff like that, and it's very kind of sandy looking.
Yeah.
That would look quite cool in,
not Aegon Waste.
The beginning of, Journey, where you're going down the sand dunes and stuff like that, how that looks. But then I guess that works better for Journey because that is, like, such a giant environment versus for Metroid because everything's a lot smaller, I guess.
It's room-based.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna probably just be a natural evolution of what.
Oh, Metroid Prime 4 is gonna look like Metroid Prime 3. I don't think there's any, beat around that. So.
But to quickly talk about Astral Chain.
Yes.
It's very fun so far.
Good.
I like the platinum gameplay with a sort of second character you have to kind of control.
Yeah.
I
think that's that's the thing that's got me interested in it. Yeah. So what's the combo system like? Did you say?
There's you don't have to do Bayonetta combos or
got you.
Devil May Cry combos. It's more you've got a standard attack string. You've got a few alterations on that, like you can charge an attack. You can do an attack and then wait a second and then do another one, and that does an attack. But there aren't multiple strings. It's one attack string with some other attacks you can use as well.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the Legion, which is what your companion thing is called.
That's what the robot's called at the end of the chain. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use them to do stuff like wrapping opponents. You can control them by holding down the left trigger and moving the right stick.
Okay. Because the idea is that basically you need to trap enemies, right? And the way that you do that is like in Empire Strikes Back, where they're wiring up the legs of the AC-80. You basically need to do it so you pull the chain out, and then you need to tie the enemies in the chain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the chaining isn't essential. It's just another aspect of the gameplay that you can use to get more damage on enemies. You can tie out multiple enemies at once. There are certain missions, like little side missions, where you have to catch someone and you have to chain them up before they get away.
Okay.
Because you are a cop and you do some kind of menial cop stuff.
Like throwing away trash and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, there is just a trash system where you pick up a piece of litter on the floor and chuck them in bins.
Can you do trash combos?
No.
I feel like they missed a trick there.
And there's a guy who wants you to catch his cat, and you have to kick a can towards it to distract it. Or a guy who wants you to catch his dog, and you just gotta corner it with your Legion.
Okay.
It's fun little side stuff like that outside of the combat that kind of fleshes the game out. And
so it's like an open world game then.
No, it's mission based.
All right.
Between each mission, you go back to the headquarters,
and
you can talk to everyone there, and they'll have different things to say after every mission.
Right.
And there's some other stuff you can do there, like go in the lockers and change your outfit and change your legion's colors and all that. And then when you like want to start the mission, you go to like a certain point, and then they send you off there.
Okay.
And yeah, no, it's very mission based. You can do little like activities around the areas. It typically has a flow of, okay, you start in a bigger area,
right,
with lots of little side stuff, and then you go to a more linear section where you are chasing down the
Got you. So it's not like an open world, but it is just kind of like you have your main mission, but each main mission has side missions associated with it.
Yeah,
okay.
And there's like lots of exploring and finding stuff, and it's good fun.
That sounds alright. I don't mind a structure a bit like that, but
I kind of hope Bayonetta 3 takes some cues. Like, I don't want it fully, you're going through around, like, doing loads of side missions and stuff. But, some more stuff to do between the fighting.
Yeah, because what I always remembered from Bayo 1 was that it was almost a little bit like Doom 2016, where you'd have a couple of corridors, but it'd be like sort of bees on a line where you go to an arena, then you go to the other arena, and basically it's just like really bits of quiet downtime between just these arena sort of things, which is fine. I mean, I think it's one of those things that, like, if you're into those kind of games and, like, getting big combos, then that's kind of essentially, I think your, like, kind of that perfect game would be essentially what the loading screen is, where you're literally just doing combos one after the other,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the only reason I ever.
Fun.
What's that?
I find it very good fun.
Okay, that's good.
I wouldn't mind like a bit more outside of that though.
Yeah,
I think Doom 2016 has a lot of good exploratory stuff.
Yeah, that's
like, the secrets in that game are fucking well hidden.
The thing I like about Doom 2016 is that essentially, like, you realize after you fight all these enemies that these arenas are almost like very, very, very small Super Mario 64 levels, where they kind of have these different, like, levels to them and little hidden areas and stuff like that. It's nice. It's like if you played Banjo-Kazooie and, like, for the first half of a level you're clearing out all the enemies, and then for the other half of the levels you're getting the jiggies kind of thing. But instead of having beak pecks and stuff like that, you got a big shotgun and you shoot people. That said, though, Banjo-Tooie does have a shotgun in it.
Yeah.
Have you played Banjo-Tooie?
It's Kazooie.
Yeah, you use Kazooie as a gun.
I don't.
Then it goes into first person.
I found that out when Sakurai was like, "Hey, so there was this first-person shoot section in Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah,
where you use Kazooie as a gun."
I think the reason that they did that, and it's super weird, because, like, Rare at the time were like, "Hey, guess what, guys? We're gonna do Banjo-Kazooie, but then we're also gonna do GoldenEye and, like, all this sort of stuff." And I think that they had such a good time on GoldenEye, they decided that basically they were going to put GoldenEye in every single game they made afterwards. So Donkey Kong 64's multiplayer has GoldenEye style FPS shooting arena stuff. Banjo-Tooie has that as well, and also has it as missions in the game. And then I want to say, Conker's Bad Fur Day has it as well.
Yeah.
It's very weird. They were just like, let's just put first-person shooters in everything.
We figured it out.
We figured out what people like, and what they like is having a game be normal for 80% of the time, but then having 20% of the game which is a first-person shooter. It's almost as if they decided that they had a game overtime episode where somebody gave them the prompt, "Can you please put a first-person shooter in every game type?"
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Well,
so
we spent a lot of time here.
That's fine. We haven't got much. I'm fine. I mean, if you wanted to coffee break for the rest of the episode, I'm fine with that. It's already a weird enough episode as to begin with.
We should probably head back in for a few minutes to just tie it up.
Well, we're not heading back anywhere, Ben. This isn't like a proper episode, is it?
Well, I'm gonna swivel my chair around.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Well, make sure you're not wearing headphones, because otherwise, then that might unclip.
I do IRL transitions whenever I have to, like, talk about something different.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm just gonna swivel real quick.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so I've swiveled.
Okay, I think for when you swivel, you should use the Donkey Kong sound effect for that.
Okay.
Make sure.
Let me just hit that
out.
one.
There you go. Nice.
Okay,
Right.
so we've got ideas.
Yeah, let's go over the ideas that we had then. Game for crocodiles.
Mhm.
What was the other one?
Clicking.
Yeah, game with clicking. Game for crocodiles. Second idea. We had a third idea, I'm sure of it. Oh, a game that Matthew Matosis would want to review.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. An episode where an episode where we go to hell and we have to make the game from hell.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. That was a good
That
one.
one's 100%.
That's a we're gonna do that after the next episode, maybe, probably. We'll do that after. Oh no, because after one episode we're gonna have to do another guest, aren't we?
Yeah, no. Well, actually, this is episode 12 next.
Okay, so then 13,
we'll
then 14, and then we're gonna have a guest on, which would be very exciting.
I discussed that now, but we can't for legal reasons.
Yeah, but we kind of know who we want, but whether they'll do it or not, we'll wait and see. It's not going to be The Rock though, because we haven't got to there on the Patreon yet.
No, we're close. How much? Let me just have a quick check how close we are to getting The Rock on. Right. About $199,998 off.
Okay, we're not far then.
No.
Okay, that's good. So Game from Hell, Game for Crocodiles.
Yep.
Game for Crocodiles from Hell, Game for Matthew Matosis, and the other
a game
one.
for Matthew Matosis, pretending to be a crocodile from hell.
From hell, to click his fingers along to. Which I don't think a crocodile could do, because they haven't got fingers, have they? Oh yeah, I guess they could click their teeth, couldn't they? I guess we need one more idea then. Oh, I've already said that trying to put
No, I've got it. Okay. So we do an episode where, like, the Yakuza.
Yeah.
They capture us, I guess.
Yeah.
Or they trick us or something, and they end up tying us up, and then they have a translator who talks to us in English, and he translates everything they say.
That's what a translator usually does.
Yep.
Looks to me.
And we'll just insert some random Japanese, it doesn't need to be accurate, be funnier.
Okay.
And then we put that in, we'll get that edited in post.
Okay.
And then they task us with, like, creating loads of games. Like, they say, you're really good game designers, then prove it.
Alright. I feel like you've had this idea. I feel like this idea's been preconceived, but I can't put my finger on why.
Nah.
No. It seems like a very me idea, but I can't really put my finger on why.
Well, it's a shame you didn't think of it first.
Oh, no. It is a shame that I didn't think of it first. That is very true. And whether we do it next episode or not, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Ben, have we got any... do we want any small ideas? Do we want anything to potentially, tease the audience before we go back to a normal episode of Game Overtime again?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. Let's have a look at the list of Game Overtime ideas. Which I don't even think a Game for the Sun was on. I think that was literally just that was something that was pulled out of the air.
I think we're just going for something simple.
Yeah. Let's have a look. A game to help you get away with a criminal. A game to help you get away with a criminal act. A game for church in order to enhance the experience.
Yep.
A game for all the family. Brackets. The Manson family. Addams family. Famous families. 15 games to send into space to convince aliens are intelligent life forms. We've already kind of done that idea, haven't we?
Wow. We've also done a game that uses food as control interface.
That's true, yeah.
We have literally done that.
Yeah, we managed to do Metroidvania in that episode.
It's fucking me up that we've managed to accidentally do some of these without even realising.
A video game to bring around world peace, so I would argue that all our videos do that, which is pretty good. A game that starts with the letter X, we did do that. Virtual Sun Simulator, brackets, Milo 2, Milo Harder.
A game that would convince George Lucas to make another Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
Not gonna happen.
I don't know. I think he might do it.
A
a game
about game over time.
See,
That's
weird.
a bit weird.
Yeah, that is very. How weirdly poignant is that?
Oh, James, I've just noticed something.
What's that?
I think I'm recording.
Oh no, I didn't even know that was happening. Oh, Ben, can you stop recording? Or
yeah, let me just hit the button real quick.